Am I more than you bargained for, ghoul? Been 200 years since the bombs all blew.
Why was he fucking the chickens? Like, surely there's something better to do when you're this desperate with a chicken.
I don't know. Was he trying to make an elixir? Was this kind of some kind of thing, or does he just like follow his? Like, this guy doesn't seem like he's the type of guy that's got a calendar or makes plans. It's more like, I feel horny. Oh, there's a chicken in that cage. Am I more hungry than horny? I guess I'm more horny.
Down to a vault underground, and we're doing cousin stuff in it. We've got your weekly dose of...
Welcome to Fallout Boys, the officially unofficial podcast for Fallout on Amazon Prime. I'm Jim.
I'm A.Ron.
And we're back for another episode of Fallout. This time it's episode 7, The Radio. The Fred Armisen controlled radio. Boy, he was a delight to see. I haven't seen him since like Los at Spookies, I think is the most recent thing, but then
right.
Portlandia.
Oh sure. Yeah. I don't see like I don't know if he's starring in anything, but he's been in a bunch of stuff, like, you know, like just little funny roles like this, because he's essentially playing a Portlandia character. Like, I love his
totally.
Carl from K-Piss. Who is obsessed with fiddling, you know, and and there's a little bit of I couldn't tell if there's a little bit of a troll aspect to him. Like, he definitely loves fiddling, but he also knows that everyone else hates it. So he's like, yeah, if you're a music critic, he's got something for you. If you show up at his doorstop to take issue. I heard that this was a veiled joke about the actual Fallout radio, and that there's a Minuteman radio station that plays nothing but like this kind of banjo-y fiddling stuff, and the gamers of course hate it, right? It's like this folksy Americana crap. So it's kind of funny that, like, what if that is all you could listen to? And the guy tries to you try to kill the guy to change the radio, and he's better at it than you.
I love that you can hear it full spectrum. Anyway, we'll talk more about Fred Armisen, I'm sure. What do you think of this episode in general?
That's another great one. Really liked. I remember being impressed that because that's the thing. I came in a little bit jaded to this Nolan Joy product because of how kind of the end of Westworld was a fiasco. And I don't know if that's a controversial opinion, but certainly the opinion that I held after podcasting it for 4 seasons. And it got canceled, never got a satisfying ending. And I'm like, oh man, if they're trying to keep some of this mystery stuff going. But like this episode, I remember feeling really good that they're kind of rolling up their sleeves and getting into what's going on in Vault 31. We're going to get a little bit of that. And probably a lot more in season 2. But that to me showed a lot of confidence. And then it's such an interesting story, too. Like, you know, we loved Barb because Cooper loved Barb, and they were a cute family. But there's been this wedge that's called Vaultco that's been driving between them. And this is the real breaking point. You know, Cooper is starting to listen to people not his wife and rich Hollywood friends for the first time.
He's listening to himself more than anything, right? Now he's listening to the objections he has to the morality or the ethics of what they're doing.
Yeah. And you got Thaddeus in there, that whole, you know, ghoulification of him. Although, again, I'm not sure, because like even the series is left it open for doubt, where Maximus is like, I think you might be turning into a ghoul.
I mean, it makes sense. The restorative powers that we see. And I just love this chicken fucker guy so much. He's maybe my favorite character in the entire show. There's just so much funny stuff with him.
Yeah, it's seeing it all in like one, you know, kind of a revisit. It's been great because he is such a great character, because we meet him here and he's got, you know, shotgun in mouth, hairy hobbit foot toe on the trigger. He's about to blow his brains out until Thaddeus comes by. Yeah. And then he runs out. The first thing he says, "Don't kill me."
Dude,
you know,
it's great.
He's at the end of his rope. He's such an
opportunist, and
he can scam one more time, you know, like, really doing it for the love of the game. got one more drop of snake oil you can sell and makes him happy. Of course, I don't know. Like, seems like you could parlay a fusion core into some pretty high living as a chicken fucker. Yeah. I'd buy you a lot of chickens.
For sure. Yeah, we don't know what he'll do with it, but yeah.
And then that's the majority of, a lot more of evidence of Betty doing some evil stuff and the way she gets rid of these raiders. They don't come out and tell us that, but they pretty much come out and tell us that.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming. And the way she gets rid of all of the raiders from within, like she separates some of the people who are scheming, right? Like Chet and Norm get separated this episode permanently. Chet's going to 32. Norm's staying at 33.
Did you think it's along scheming lines? Because I thought it was along like some kind of social engineering lines. Like
I think it's people.
Because you got like Chet. Not sorry, Chet. Chet's a pushover. He's a coward. But I don't think Norm is. I think they're trying to say that Norm is cut from a different cloth, and all the people that we see going over the 32 are kind of lightweights. Woody, Chet, Davey, with one stern mistress to rule them, Stephanie.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of reasons, complicated reasons she's doing what she's doing. I think one of them is to keep your enemies closer, right? Like, she wants Norm to stay here with her where she can keep him under her thumb. She wants to separate him from the ally that he might have in Chet. Because, I mean, he is a corrosive influence. I mean, Chet never had any aspirations to uncover any secrets here in the vaults. He just wanted to bang his cousin. But Norm steps in and starts talking in his ear, and suddenly he's got an ally, right, who's willing to help him get into other vaults and find secrets. I think she's breaking that band up a little bit. And then, I don't know what like social engineering she's doing on sort of a larger scale with these vaults. I'm not sure what qualities Woody has versus what qualities Reg has, right? Where one of them's leaving and one of them staying.
Breaking Reg and Woody is the toughest challenge to my milk toast versus, lion versus lamb.
Because they both are.
Yeah. But you got to have some people to stir the reclamation pods, even in Vault 33. Maybe you got to keep a few Regs along to do the shit work, the scut work. Again, it's just a theory.
Yeah, I will say I want more from Zach Cherry, so we need to see more in 32, and I'm hoping he'll become a part of the conspiracy to uncover the conspiracy, essentially.
Oh, like a B conspiracy team. It would be really funny to see Chet and Woody like sneaking around. And we know that Norm is probably going to have access to communicate with him because he's a very good hacker, it turns out. Those IT skills that he disdained, he's put to good use here. So I could just see him being, I guess, to Charlie, to their Charlie's Angels, and he's sending them on missions. And
sure,
these guys with zero creep and zero guile, how are they going to do it? Especially the one of them in relations with the presumably evil Stephanie.
And with a terrible poker face. Like, this guy couldn't lie to Stephanie if his life depended on it.
Yeah.
I'm with you, though. I think she's evil. She's like almost de facto evil because she's
has an eye patch
from the overseer. Well,
right, yes. Okay,
she's like too. From the overseer group from 31, right? So,
yeah,
she's been genetically engineered to be evil.
Yeah, to be amoral, ruthless, pragmatist. Do we have anything else that we want to say just in generalities, or should we get right into the scene by scene breakdown?
Yeah, let's do it.
As a reminder, this is spoiler free. When we get to the feedback section, that's where if you're a first time througher, you're going to want to bone out, because we'll be talking full spoilers, both about this episode and other episodes with the other show veterans in feedback. But you got a while before we get there.
Looks like the mushroom cloud is smaller than your thumb, so you still have time to go to support.ballmove.com to get ad-free episodes and so much more. You're back for more cousin stuff, aren't you? Welcome back to Fallout Boys.
Somewhere in the wasteland, a father and son in protective clothing sift through the sand to find metal to smelt down and recycle. It's very wholesome. Very little house on the wasteland. After a long, hard day, they return to their homestead, not to find dinner being sat at their table, but the ghoul demanding to know where Moldaver is. We quickly find out that the lead farmer's son has been in contact with their eldest brother, who fell in with Moldaver, and he spills the beans on their location before the ghoul takes him down for plotting revenge.
Yeah, I love the little world building thing they're doing here of lead farming, going and collecting all the spent bullet casings to, I presume, recycle them in some way. Turn them in, get caps for scrap here. Sure.
Or just sell it lead on the scrap, for, because like you're right, they got the casings recover. I'm assuming since they're lead farmer, they're probably getting the actual bullet out too. But I like it because I've never heard the term bullet farmer before, except for Tropic Thunder, where, when Robert Downey Jr. is at the end of his disguise rope trying to infiltrate the Dark Triad village. He's like, I'm a lead farmer, motherfucker. And I guess maybe I guess there's don't they call it it's called the Bullet Farm in Mad Max? Maybe it's maybe it's a nod to both of those things. Bullet farming.
All right.
Lead farming.
Either way, works great here in this show.
I hear tell that the father and son are wearing a distinctive armor from the video game called the NCR Ranger Combat Armor. And I definitely recognize it as being a Fallout thing, like the Nazi stormtrooper helmet and coat with the gas masks and all that stuff. But, and here it's just a father and son trying to get by.
Yeah. I was wondering if this is another form of like a Brotherhood suit that we haven't seen yet, but then it becomes clear that no, it's just a couple of dudes. And I guess I like some of the more subtle work they're doing too with telling us about ghouls, and we've seen Lucy in the market be attacked by ghouls. Presumably they would have eaten her, but like there's I don't know how like out of the ordinary the ghoul Cooper is as a ghoul. Like, I don't look at the ghouls that were in that market and say they could sit down to a home-cooked meal of daughter and slice it up with a fork and a knife and chew every morsel and savor it. Like, that didn't strike me as those kind of ghouls, but those ghouls must be out there, or at least there is a hint here that, this guy has dealt with Cooper before directly. So, which I'm not even sure how that's true, given the state that we see Cooper in at the beginning of this. I assume Cooper has been held for years underground in this casket.
But he's let out once a year, and is he let out once a year just to be tortured, or is he you're right. But I also wonder if, because, so this is like a prejudice that a feral ghoul looks exactly like a non-feral ghoul. And by the time you get close enough to determine, this guy's not speaking English, he's actually, he or she's actually growling and biting, it's probably too late for you. But, and also it's not like Cooper doesn't eat human meat. Like, we just saw him make ass jerky from one of his ghoulish companions. So he's not above eating meat, but I also think that because Cooper is the guy he would probably not make a roast out of your daughter. Your infant daughter, or not your infant daughter, your daughter that's the same age as his daughter, Janie, when the bombs dropped. I just didn't seem like that would be his. But he also loves that people free associate. He's clearly wanting him to make that connection, right?
He's got, there's the legend of the ghoul that he very much supports.
Yeah. Oh, come on now. You don't think I do. It's very great.
But he says it in a way that's like, yeah, I actually do think you might do that.
Yeah. So this guy's eldest brother went to go seek Moldaver because he wanted to make a difference in the world. He's a Luke Skywalker type. Looks like his brother is like that too. And it turns out, we put all this together. this family's middle child was given the order to take a bunch of caps and set up at Mama June in Philly. Like these are the connections that were made to escort the guy from the Enclave that wants to go to the Moldaver group. And unfortunately, the kid can't put off his desire for revenge. I wonder if there is any way that he walks out of there alive. Like if he doesn't reach for the gun, does the ghoul let him go?
I doubt it. That's the thing. He says, well, maybe he won't. Maybe he'll be cool today, but what about tomorrow? He's cleaning up the loose ends of his quest before they become loose ends, essentially.
But also maybe if I provoke this kid enough and he doesn't take the bait, maybe he just doesn't have it in him. Maybe,
because I don't think, his father clearly doesn't, right? And Cooper knows that, so he's not going to kill him.
Well, that's the thing. It's I think if Cooper, if that old man, or he's not old man, he's my age, that father had lost his entire family.
Bad news for you, A.Ron.
No, I get it. It doesn't. It can be left unsaid, but yes, I'm getting old as fuck. My lower back is telling me that right now. What was I going to say? Oh, sorry. I feel like that bullet farmer, if you took his whole family away, he might go after Cooper. But as long as he's got a 7-year-old that's depending on his lead farm, he's not going to do that. As long as he's got one kid that he could protect, he's taking advantage of his father. But that young boy is full of piss and vinegar. He's got no such compunctions.
Yeah. The other thing I like that they're doing here is creating a reputation around Moldaver, which I think is interesting when paired with the communist thing at the end, where her reputation is being besmirched. I wonder if there is anything to the mad woman in the hills, or if that's just some artificial creation somehow. Right. For
her many enemies, because it seems like she's in the class of dumbasses that think they can make the world a better place. And, there's a lot of competing visions out there. So I imagine she's got a lot of competition. But speaking of Moldaver, I also thought it was really cool, and we're going to get into that right now, is that when he said, where is she hiding out? And the kid finally breaks and says the observatory, the full body reaction that Cooper has to this is just karmatically perfect. This started at the observatory, which we're going to find out. And it's going to, now she's at the observatory again. He's just, this feels right to him, is what I got the impression. It's like everything's lining up. Speaking of Moldaver and her past, we go back to a flashback where Moldaver, who's going by the name of Miss Williams here, does a little populist rabble rousing that turns Cooper off. And he goes to leave this meeting, but she challenges him by claiming to know his wife. Says that Barb took the cold fusion breakthrough that she had off the market by buying out her company and shelving it. She then gives him a listening device and invites him to spy on his wife to see what she's up to.
Okay. This is a huge thing here that inspires so many questions in me. First of all, if she's so concerned about the outcome of this and so pissed off about what Vault-Tec did, why did she sell her cold fusion research in the first place? She was on the cusp. She was about to become either obscenely rich or the savior of the world, depending on which one she cares about most. I guess she cares about most being obscenely rich because she sold all of her stuff over to Vault-Tec.
But is it so you're assuming good faith here on both sides? Because I'm thinking, I'm a scientist. I just came up with this breakthrough. What can I do with it? Probably nothing. I want to need some more money, some funding to build, go from proof of concept to actually and bring it to market and all that. And you're going to want to have a company that works with you. And Vault-Tec's oh yeah, we'll do that. And we're, and then his buy your shit and shut it down. And you probably got a gag order. So I don't know if it was greed or just the next logical step to having a scientific breakthrough and taking it from science to engineering. And she just got hornswoggled.
So that makes her incredibly naive, I would say, because I look at all the stuff that Charlie, Cooper's acting friend, has sussed out about Vault-Tec and their motivations. You know, and he's working, you know, a little after the fact from what she did, but
that's the whole thing.
He's not like he got invested in this from Moldaver. And so he has now like figured out things that she hadn't figured out in the first place about Vault-Tec's true intentions, right?
That's what I'm thinking, that like if I'm right about her being screwed over and not just her being greedy. And there's a difference between buying into the American dream and be like, I just invented something's going to save the world. Yeah, I'm going to get my beak wet. And like, well, not like this. Yes, there's a lot of ways you can be. But like, I'm guessing that was the genesis of her kind of getting this group together and finding out more about what Vault-Tec is doing, since they screwed her that bad. But
I mean, if you look at the incentives, I guess, like she would have had to believe that Vault-Tec was about to entirely pivot their company into fusion energy as opposed to vaults that will help you survive the end of the world because of the war over the fusion energy that we don't have. Like that's the thing. She comes across as very naive at that point, and now she's had her eyes opened.
I'm trying to see if that's like is that a fair, or is that just because we know a little bit too much about what's going on in the show? Because I'm trying to think of like a scientist.
It might be.
Yeah, maybe they are naive. We see some naive scientists in this episode and how bad that road that they paved with well intentions ended up going down. But like the idea that, you know, maybe Vault-Tec is like, oh, yeah, we actually need a fusion reactor for our vaults, and that'd be a great synergy with us. And she didn't think like, because it's like, how jaded would you have to be to think that a vault company, amongst their other things that they're doing, they're trying to sabotage the peace project because they want the war to come? Like, that's so insane that I don't know that it's naive to fall for it. It'd be like almost beyond cynical to be like, you just want to buy my fusion technology to ensure there's going to be poverty and want and it's like, I don't know.
Yeah,
but she's real smart.
That's potentially a big leap to make, but it also follows from the implications of the incentive structure there, right? Like they have an incentive, like everything Charlie says, they have an incentive to not let this war end, to make sure that the war results in the destruction of the surface of the planet so that everyone has to use their vaults. They can sell more vaults. That's an obvious incentive. To think that they're going to turn over a new leaf entirely and pivot their entire operation. And she couldn't have only had this one deal on the table, right? It can't be the only company that was saying, hey, let us buy your technology. Because shit like that, you don't develop cold fusion in a vacuum in complete silence. And then
take it to the first buyer and be like, yeah, sight unseen. Yeah.
Right. But if anything, like if you want to make money, you start a bidding war, because that is the future. That is literally the entire future of humanity right there. That's worth quite a bit of dollars or caps.
I wonder if they're also telling us with Barb, who we know is like, you know, perfectly capable of being charming and loving, and a lot of the executives that are very charismatic and whatnot, and they kind of hornswoggled Cooper. I wonder if they're telling us that, like, yeah, that's just kind of what they do. They use people. And Moldaver was not immune.
Yeah, for sure. Here's the other interesting thing. There are still many questions to be asked. So she says that Vault-Tec bought up all my technology and stuck it on a shelf. That is manifestly not true. If you look at the power armor, it's powered by fusion cores. They took this and not only shelved it for the purposes of stopping this war, but used it for the purpose of fueling the war. They built these suits powered by her technology to fight the war.
An alternate take is that that's just a fusion reactor and it's not a cold fusion reactor, but like it is the size of like a Yeti cup. So
right, that's what I'm thinking. It doesn't.
That's a good inference. I didn't make that, but you're right. That's a valid inference to make, and it'd be twisting the knife even more, right?
And they powered their vaults with them. Like, they took her technology and co-opted it for their own evil purposes. That's even more offensive.
Yeah, it's the opposite of what the Bible says about pounding plowshare or spears and swords into plowshares. They're taking plowshare and melting it down to make spears and swords. So Not good.
I see why she's so upset.
Y'all Vault Tech CEOs need to be fearing hell. Yeah, y'all need Jesus. What else? Because like again, this is all like she's trying to make a speech to the common man about like, you know, that we were sold this bill of goods. It's interesting because in the world that we live in, where 80 years ago World War II stopped and it turned into the Cold War, like I will credit nuclear weapons with ensuring a certain amount of global peace. It does seem like, you know, we were getting in world wars and Europe had, you know, just come out of centuries of fighting amongst themselves and whatnot. Now, it's not that we don't have any wars or small scale conflict, but like we haven't had any world wars since then. And this world posits that the Cold War goes hot, but not nuclear, that they still can have large scale regional conflicts battling over Alaska, you know, native soil, and it doesn't go nuclear. But it's like, so it's like you can see in that world, like, well, Jesus, we got the threat of nuclear holocaust and we still have wars killing tens and hundreds of millions of people. You can see where people get jaded about that. And the fact that this is something we see in 2025 is the American dream. Is it dead? Is it an illusion? Is it a fantasy? I do think it's harder to realize nowadays. And it's probably something about how much the wealth discrepancy has grown in the last couple of generations. But again, I don't know. I'm just a podcaster. The
funny thing about nuclear wars is the first one will probably be the last one. Like, that's the thing. You say, well, it's prevented all the wars from happening. Yeah, right up until it doesn't, and then it's complete devastation.
Right up until a nuclear non-proliferation stops working, everyone decides they have to get a nuke, and now you've got 200 plus nation states running around with them, and yeah, it's scary.
One Thanks of them is bound to be crazy enough to use them. Yeah,
or make money selling it. You know, I don't know. I'm thinking about my son's lifetime too. He's got another. I'm done in 30 at the outside. 30, 35 years max. I'm not probably going to see the ice caps melting, but my son, he's stuck in here another 60 plus years easy. So anyway, she wants him to spy on his wife, and he doesn't say no.
I like that the earbud we find out is like a gear shape. This feels very Fallout to me.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, and it's also incorporated into the logo of Bethesda Games, which is the
you're right.
creator publisher of Fallout. So that's a nice little connection there too. All right, shall we move on?
Yeah.
Vault 4 is all angry and up in arms at Goosey for her betrayal of their trust that she committed on level 12. She claims they're all sick monsters, but then they roll a holotape that shows it's actually the original scientists, the leaders of Vault 4, who did the insane human research, and these poor people are just trying to make the best of it. Best of the situation after the vault fell to Gulper chaos. Lucy is blackbagged and hauled off for trial and sentencing, something that Maximus stops shoving his gob full of popcorn long enough to notice and register.
Just one more handful. I'm going to go save her, but one more handful.
That was because I was writing the notes. It's like he pauses between, you know, like just stops enough. And I'd like, yeah, the fact that he takes one last huge fistful and shoves it in. It's like, okay, I need a rally handful of popcorn.
Love it. Little moments like that, man. We'll talk about more of them. But yeah, this is where it's like, oh, Lucy, pull the blinders off. Like, it's that saying where like there's a fool in every group, and if you look around the group and you don't see the fool, think about what that means. That's you. You're the fool. Yeah. And Lucy here is looking around, seeing all the experiments in the vaults. They're telling her, yeah, the vaults are experiments, and she's going, no, not my vault. But she was not privy to any of the stuff that Norm is discovering.
Right. And this is just the first vault. Like, I could see being like, you know, like, okay, shit's going to happen in some vaults. You know, it looks like these people lost their way. It is a stunning indictment of technocracy. If you're like all about, we should just get subject matter experts in their fields, and they should just make all the calls and the shots. I don't know, maybe some human feeling in the decision making process here, because
sure.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense, right? Like the scientist says, like, despite our failures here, we still think there's promise in crossbreeding, radiation resistant organisms in humanity. Of course, that's how we got gulpers. And we see the gulping happen at the end of this clip. Unregulated science. I don't know. It seems like you got to have somebody looking over its shoulder, keeping you from doing chimp human hybrids and I don't know, putting spider silk glands in the teenagers' wrists and turning them into Spider-Men. You just can't have that.
Yeah, I feel like you need some like everyday normal people mixed in with the scientists and the business entities and the governmental lifetime politicians, things like that, to at least bring a little bit of perspective. You
need a real salt of the earth type to be like, this ain't right, man. This shit ain't natural.
But you don't want to concentrate all the power of the salt of the earth either. Like,
that's true, because you gotta have
the mix. That's what it's all about.
Lots of unnatural stuff that we do that is actually pretty cool and handy. In terms of us doing science and technology to make our lives better. But really think about transplanting an organ. Like that's right. That's like Mary Shelley Frankenstein shit. And it is not, I wouldn't say it's it's a routine everyday occurrence. People getting parts from other people, swapping it in, it's like that's in. And I could see people like saying like how like 100 years ago proposing it. We're going to cut up dead bodies. We're going to desecrate corpses, and we're going to take those parts. We're going to shove them into living people. The fuck you are. So you're right. You got to have a mechanism to override that ain't natchy reaction when it's. But who gets to do that? The technocrats. I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah, I love the whole thing is like, you think they're going to kill her. They're not, because Maximus sees it, and he already knows where his suit is and where he knows where. So it's like, you already know this isn't going to happen. But I love the curveball they throw you anyway. We're going to take a break though from Vault 4. Check in on Thaddeus, who is struggling with a very gnarly foot injury and dog meat pestering him. He comes across a Red Rocket fuel station and decides to stash his goods in the spacious trunk of an American-made automobile. And then he stashes dog meat in a Nuka-Cola freezer so he can travel lighter.
He's so concerned about whether the dog can breathe. What about whether anybody's going to find the dog and let it out of this hot box you've set up that's going to kill it in a matter of days? Like,
yeah, it's plausible deniability, so you don't have to think like, I just killed that cute dog. You can think, I put that cute dog in a crate that had air, and some good Samaritan probably let him out.
Right. Tell yourself that. I'll say I'm not familiar with this version of 16 Tons, but I love the song 16 Tons. It's a great song. I'm familiar with the Tennessee Ernie Ford version more so than this Merle Travis version, but both of them equally good. I guess Merle Travis is the guy who wrote it. I'm familiar with the cover.
Oh, you're familiar. It's like the Oreo Hydrox situation all over again. You think the knockoff is the real thing? It's a great song.
Similar anyway. It's like, why cover this if you're just going to sing it exactly like the other guy did?
It's because I wrote it. Damn it. It's a great song, and if you don't know, it's about coal mining in a company town where they own your housing and they own the stores, and you load 16 tons of coal a day, which seems like a fantastic amount. And you just get older and deeper in debt because your paycheck ain't going to cover your rent. It's not going to cover your, medical care, all that stuff. And these are the things, like I said, these are the things that happened at the turn of the 20th century that gave us things like unions and weekends and Labor Day and 40-hour work
Social
weeks
Security.
Like that. That was all crazy socialist nonsense before some of the deals of the New Deal went on. Because like, yeah, why can't a person work themselves every waking hour for money? Like that's just economics, man.
And consider it a virtue, right?
Yeah. Taking advantage of our Puritan work ethic, man.
Why not just stop working? If you're working till you're dead anyway, why not just stop working and die sooner?
True.
Like, you enjoy the work you're doing? Breathing in black coal and chopping it? Yeah. No thanks.
Time for an ad break. You've got two choices to avoid them. Vault Text Plan D or go to support.baldmove.com to get an ad-free episode. And we're back with more Fall Out Boys on Bald Move. So, we'll see what happens with Dogmeat here in a bit. But back in Vault 4, Goosey is sentenced to Vault 4's ultimate punishment, death, by banishment to the surface with 2 weeks of supplies. They're not monsters, these Cyclops and four-ear monster people. Maximus doesn't know that, and he comes full steam, coming in swinging with his power suit, throwing Vault 4 people left and right, demanding that they release her, which they're going to do anyway.
Yeah, it's really fun just knowing like the mix up here, right?
And you kind of see it. Like I kind of like they fooled me the first time watching with the black bag, and I'm like, oh well, Maximus is going to save him, but as soon as it's Chris Parnell that's going to swing the sword, and he gets this big scimitar, and it looks like he's going to behead her, and he just goes to work cutting her bonds, and it's a super blunt. It's just really funny, and it keeps getting funnier. Like, she's like, you're just going to let me go? Well, that's pretty optimistic. It's a certain death up there. And then when she's like, I got one other question. And he's like, yes, of course, we're going to send someone to carry the supplies up for you. Or, it's like, they're so nice. They're so nice about it.
They are. Yeah, it's really good. And then this entire time she's, pleading for Max. He's a good person. Just let him stay. But he's over there stealing the core. Yeah.
It's Maximus. He's a loyal guy, I don't know if he loves Lucy. He's got more of a shine to Lucy than he does oysters, I've tried oysters
combo. Can I just say it's the Lucy oyster combo.
That's a number 3 on the menu, I think. You can choose white rice or fried.
Yeah, hold the oysters.
And the rice.
I will say oysters and canned tuna are about as far apart. The only thing those have in common is they come from the sea. That's it.
They're sea meat. Yes.
Sea meat. Yeah.
Exotic sea
Other
meats.
than that, they're nothing. Like, if you like canned tuna, I can guarantee you won't like oysters. Or I can guarantee that doesn't mean you'll like oysters.
Yeah, as a person who likes a good tuna fish sandwich and who hates oysters, I'll agree with that. I did think I will say that one of my complaints, I'm not sure if it's a complaint, it's something I noticed, and I guess I am complaining. Some of the fight sequences get a little wire fooey. Like, it's really cool that Maximus is coming in here and just just throwing dudes around, but like, it is so clearly rigged up the cables and doesn't follow any kind of like, natural gravitational arc to the ground. Are they doing that for style points, or is it?
I think they're trying to convey strength, the strength of the suit, like that. The arc hasn't happened. He throws a guy and the arc comes way later than you expect because the force of the throw. But I agree, it's looking pretty fake to me.
Yeah. And some of the other, like, I guess I didn't notice the second time. I noticed the first time that, like, the big ghoul Maximus fight, that had some goofy shit on it, too. Like, whenever they're doing, anytime something leaves the ground, it's just slightly above, I don't know, like a rock and roll person strapping a wire to their belt and flying over the crowd during the big final number in the act, right? Like, it's just you can't see the wires, but by God, they're there.
Yeah. It's like the stage version of Peter Pan or something.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It's a little silly, guys.
It's like
but
the
it's cool
opposite
that you can
of,
do it, I guess.
It's the opposite of Donner's Superman. You won't believe a man can fly. It will look fake as fuck. Okay. On the surface, Lucy prevails on Maximus's chivalry as a knight to get him to return Vault 4's fusion reactor. She then invites him back to her vault when this is all over. He says she doesn't know what a bad person she is, but Lucy says it's all the Wasteland's fault, twisting ya. Maximus, of course, agrees to return to Vault 4 with her when all this is blown over.
Vault 33. Yeah,
sorry, Vault 33. Yeah, no, not their welcome is worn out of Vault 4.
I think so, yeah. It surprises me. This must be a cut to the surface that's after like 3 to 5 minutes of the Vault 4 dwellers pleading and begging, please, can we have our fusion core back? Because they're doomed. They're on emergency backup power here.
You're right.
I don't know how long that's going to last, but not as long as that fusion core. And they just let him walk.
And that's all they can do because there's nothing. They have no weapons that could possibly challenge him, right?
Yeah, I do wish there was a little bit of. I mean, it's funny when he tosses it back in and they call up, thank you. But yeah, I wish there was some indication that they were worried, at least, that this would be the end of them. Because it would be.
And also, this is something I've been waiting for a long time. Maximus coming clean to Lucy. You knew it had to happen eventually.
Yep.
And it's good to happen now because it's like, I don't know what Lucy says if she didn't have the experience of being turned into a reactionary by the Wasteland and throwing acid into an innocent four-nosed man's face.
Right.
That she can, because like even as he says it, it's pretty sympathetic. It's like, I had my knight, he was threatening me, he got attacked and injured, and I let him die instead of helping him.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that sounds like self-defense, and we know it's not Maximus, putting a gloss on it. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Knight Titus was a real douchebag.
He was, man. And I imagine, Lucy would have had more objections, 2 weeks ago or however long she's been up on the surface. But it's nice too. Like Maximus gives the core back and he abandons his armor. And this is very symbolic for him, right? Like she's inviting him back to the vault. He's essentially abandoning the Brotherhood at this point, walking away from that armor, and becoming a vaultie. Which, from what we've seen, feels like an easy decision, but I keep thinking about the little boy who gets saved by the knight and what a image to burn into your mind, and that it probably is a big deal for him to turn even after all he's been through, to turn his back on the knighthood. Yeah, that's true. The Brotherhood. And I also like that Lucy, because he's like, why? I've got this knight suit. We're powered. Nothing can stop us. And she's like, well, my dad, if he found out that I had deprived the community and killed them, it'd break his heart. And like, I feel like there's some transitive quality there that, like, I don't think Maximus fully buys into what Lucy's doing here, but in the same way that Lucy would be shamed by her father, I think Maximus would be shamed by Lucy knowing that so he's like, even though it doesn't quite check out, he's like, I really like Lucy though. I don't want her to be disappointed in me. Definitely reluctantly doing the right thing here, but he's able to overcome all the things that have been ingrained into him by the Brotherhood, but also like his own fears, because I think that suit is a source of security for him too. Oh, for sure. It would have to be, right? So he's kind of like putting a lot of trust here in Lucy, that she can just see him through whatever's to come. Meanwhile, Thaddeus runs into Jim's favorite character, the chicken fucking snake oil healer. At the end of his rope, he manages to trade his fusion core for a magical elixir that fixes his leg and makes him immune to most threats of the wasteland. What a deal. What a deal. Mm-hmm. What a deal for the chicken fucker. Because, like, he's seconds away from getting his big toe into that.
have I ever heard of someone committing suicide this way? Because I've heard a lot of people putting guns in their mouths, but I always feel like they flip the trigger with their hand, or they do something. But like getting your big hairy hobbit foot out there and sticking your big toe in the trigger guard with the barrel in your mouth is a choice.
It is. I mean, it's a grim but very funny image.
Yeah. He's decided he's fucked his last chicken. There's no point in going on.
Why was he fucking the chickens? Like, surely there's something better to do when you're this desperate with a chicken.
I don't know. Was he trying to make an elixir? Was this kind of some kind of thing, or does he just like follow his? Like, this guy doesn't seem like he's the type of guy that's got a calendar or makes plans. It's more like, I feel horny. Oh, there's a chicken in that cage. Am I more hungry than horny? I guess I'm more horny. Also, do we know he's fucking the chickens, or is that just what the farmer surmised? I mean,
he's fucking the chickens. Look at the man.
Yeah. I was going to say also, like, what could you walk in on? Are you fucking my chickens? No, I'm just rubbing its feathers against my crotch to stay. No. Yeah, you're fucking the chicken, dude.
I think so.
But also what's super funny is that he's about to kill himself, and he sees a guy walking through armed, and he goes to treat with him, and the first thing he says, "Don't kill me." I just think it's so funny that, him like what a swing of luck, man.
And he can't even believe it himself. I think there's a point where like this fusion core comes out, and he's like, that is maybe the most valuable thing I've ever seen.
Yep.
And I've somehow gotten it out of this guy's hands into my own. And then he injects him, gets him to inhale, and he's laughing maniacally the whole time. And I'm thinking, why is he laughing? Is it because he's never seen someone voluntarily ghoulify themselves?
Maybe.
And that's what this man just did, this dumb rube.
Or maybe
this is the biggest rube he's ever seen.
Has he never seen it himself? You know, like, has he never seen someone turn into a ghoul, and he's like, this is going to be cool.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like the scene in like Pulp Fiction where they got Uma Thurman, and she's done a big heroin overdose, and the guy doesn't want any part of the heart stabbing needle with the adrenaline, but he's also kind of curious. He's kind of geeked and curious to see it, and his wife, who's the big piercer, is like, it's like maybe it's that. It's like, well, I wasn't looking to do this, but
yeah.
Does he do? Is that what he does? Does he just ghoul people?
I'm trying to think. Have we seen him actually heal anybody? We haven't. This is the first time.
No, we've just seen him trying to. We've seen him fuck chickens, and we've seen him try to hawk his wares.
Yeah,
but he's got a bunch of stuff though, and that's the other question. Is like, why use ghoul gas on him at all? Why not just give him like a deadly poison and then walk off with this fusion reaction? Like, what is it in the chicken fuckers thing to not just do the obvious double cross, and then you still got it's ghoul gas you could sell to a ghoul? Seems like it's worth top dollar.
Yeah, potentially. It does make me wonder now that God, I keep wanting to call this guy Lyle because he looks so similar to Lyle from Better Call Saul. Thaddeus. Now that he's like ghoulish, and he's maybe gonna like be competing for ghoul juice with the ghoul, with Cooper. Or like if they teamed up somehow, that could be a source of ghoul juice for him. Because I'm like thinking, okay, now he's got a time limit, right? This guy's
and he doesn't even know it.
Ghoul. He doesn't know it yet, and by the end of the episode, he kind of thinks so, but then like he's got to find meds. Does he know what med? He didn't know what that stuff he was inhaling was. How's he going to figure out what he needs to not become a ghoul?
And how much time does he have to go? Because like he doesn't look like a ghoul. Does that everyone starts? You just accumulate enough damage, or is it like the constant medication use? But I imagine he's not going to be in danger going feral until he looks like a ghoul. Like that's got to be that's got to be the end of that process, right? And as soon as he starts looking like a ghoul, he can probably just get in with ghouls, and they'll show him the ropes, But
find them.
Gotta find them. Gotta avoid.
Where do you go to find a ghoul?
I don't know. In those smooth skins, they're not very understanding of ghouls, ghoul culture.
No,
he's a Suddenly, he's a stranger in a strange land. So he gets his foot all healed up, and he asks where he can find a radio tower. And the chicken fucker points him in the right direction before he takes off. And I can't wait to see the further adventures of Chicken Fucker now that he has what I gotta imagine is one of the most expensive items in the game that you can scavenge. Imagine you grab one of those things and it's either going to let you use power armor, which is probably cool, or you can sell it for 5,000 bottle caps. Actually, hold on. Let me see. How many caps is a fusion core worth in Fallout? What? I just looked it up, and apparently it's between 10 and 200 caps. That's a lot lower.
Inflation's a bitch, man.
I guess so. You can get a fusion core for 10 fucking bottle caps? My God. I'm going to start saving mine now. But also, I don't know, like, is that a lot of caps?
Right. I mean, what was it? 5 caps to have your item fixed?
Fixed in 2 seconds, yeah.
Right. So that's cheap.
Seems like you can get a whole fusion core. Maybe fusion cores are dime a dozen. But this is also where we find out that Shady Sands is the shithole that everyone's been talking about. It's the crater in the middle of the ground, and that's where we're going. Back in Vault 33, the imprisoned raiders all die a very suspicious food-related poisoning death. But never mind, we have vaults to move to. Each resident of Vault 33 gets a message on their Pip-Boy informing them whether they are staying or leaving to repopulate Vault 32. Norm confers with his buddy Chet, who is moving with his new gal, Stephanie. Norm calls him a coward, and he says, of course, we all are. That's why we live in vaults.
All right, here's the question I have, the number one question. Why arrest this poor, innocent prison guard when you could arrest Norm? Like, doesn't that... I'm assuming Betty is the one who poisoned the prisoners. That feels right to me. Norm is the troublemaker. Why not false flag him and arrest him?
Well, this goes back to, like, I think we have a difference of how we're seeing this. You're seeing this as like a way to quickly get rid of the malcontents or the people causing Betty problems. And I see it as more of a kind of a breeding thing where, you know, Norm is annoying and he's bucking Betty, but also he's got maybe the true steel. He's the son of an overseer that was very successful and popular. So he's got that going for him. Maybe
if it could just be marshaled into the right direction. Is that what you're
especially
saying?
Since Betty is like pretty pointedly saying, hey, look what happens when you fucking open your mouth, you know, like all that, like this is on the back of the 24 hours later. It's on the back of her just poisoning these whole people and pinning on that poor solitaire playing Patsy that just likes Jell-O cake. That's her biggest sin, which is considerable, you know.
Sure.
I'm not sure. I wonder what they do to her. Are they going to kill her? Are they going to banish her? Are they going to put her in?
I don't know.
They're now empty holding pins.
This feels like unprecedented times. Like, I don't think they really have prisoners.
Well, the other thing that I haven't seen discussed much is every other time we've seen the prisoners, they have been just completely out of control. They're like disrespecting the food. They're tearing apart their rooms. I couldn't help but notice that they're a little rowdy, but they're kind of organized and they're lining up to take the food and they're sitting down and eating the food. Is part of the horrific thing you're supposed to get is that like Woody and what's the other guy's name? Woody
Reg.
and what is Woody and Reg, like their plan of slowly gentling these people? Is it actually paying off, and might it work given more time? And Betty's just like, fuck it.
Maybe.
Because that's the other thing is the water thing is still fucked, right?
I know, like, they probably have a few months on that. I think it's what the guy said, like a couple months or something. And Lucy's only been on the surface for 2 weeks, so they can let that, I guess, sit on the back burner for a while, but not forever.
It also could have been a thing that Betty did herself. She like jury rigged it to be damaged, knowing that she could fix it, and it would also cement the election for her. you know, because it's now a crisis. It's not just like, it's a super crisis. Not only did we just get raided and we lost our overseer, but we're all going to die if we just sit here and do nothing.
Yeah, no, that's a interesting possibility. And it was kind of too early to like let us in on, you know, how sinister Betty might be at that point. But now we know more thanks to Norm.
Yeah. Also, Betty's philosophy of like, people are going to be angry and they find this out, that people want something to fuss about. Like, you got to give them a crisis that you can manage for them to bitch about. Because if everything's just fine, they'll get bored and start kicking against the goads, you know?
Have her and Bernard from Silo been talking? Is there like a little crossover here that...
It is funny how much crossover there is in those two shows. With, I guess, Silo being even more of a mystery box. But, yeah. It's, a great day for Vault Dweller entertainment. If you're like super excited about living underground in a post-apocalyptic, there's so much entertainment for you out there right now. Conveniently, I was going to say it's all on it. No, it's not. This is the one sci-fi show that Amazon got over Apple TV.
Yeah.
I just like seeing, because like the other thing is, going back to why I think this is a social experiment, is just, you know, we see all the milquetoast people that are like pumping their fist about moving. And then you're contrasted that to like Steph just icing down her vag. She's I fucking love that. It's so funny.
Oh yeah.
You know, like it's just a contrast between a person who's just given birth under difficult circumstances and is ready to. Or are they implying something about Chet? Nah, it's got to be the childbirth.
Monster meat Chet.
Monster meat Chet.
He's got a genetically hybridized Wang. I don't know.
Oh yeah, it's radiation resistant. A rad penis. Wild rad penis approaches. Roll for initiative. The ghoul tracks down Thaddeus to the Red Rocket, where he frees the dog meat, and flashes back to his conflicted thoughts on planting a bug on his wife. I guess he's not planting a bug. He's Bluetooth connecting the bug to her Pip-Boy, and then that's just a Bluetooth earpiece that he's using, essentially, whatever the Fallout version of Bluetooth is.
Yeah, which is an interesting thing. I wonder how much this implies about Vault Tech's ability to do this very same thing he's doing here. Because clearly it's just connecting whatever microphones already exist on her Pip-Boy up to his earpiece. Those microphones could be connected anywhere.
Yeah.
Is Vault Tech actively spying on her through this Pip-Boy?
Be interesting.
Do all Pip-Boys actively spy for overseers in the vaults 200 years later? Like, a lot of questions kind of come from this function.
And she didn't notice the Bluetooth connection in the status bar of the Pip-Boy? Come on.
There's no icon on the Pip-Boys. They don't have the room on the screen.
Yeah, they really haven't figured out the handheld portables yet.
Yeah.
Is this gas station Red Rocket just a dog dick joke?
I guess so.
I didn't even put it together the first time I was watching it, but I was like, it's like, this is the place where dog meat is stored and dog meat is found, and it's called Red Rocket. And I know from a South Park episode I saw about 20 years ago what that's all about.
Right.
I don't know. I guess I guess a lot of the company names in the Fallout universe are kind of somewhat related. Like I think there's a company called Peter Cider or something like that. It's like, you know, put Peter in cider. I don't know. Maybe sure. They're not above it. I certainly am not. And what it also is like, you can see the conflict because, you know, he goes to do it and Barb is doing the most wholesome thing of all time. She's making hot cocos and going out there and just having this sweet conversation with his daughter. And Cooper's like, fuck, I gotta throw this away. I gotta say this. That's the other thing. Barb comes out, 3 cocos, 2 marshmallow. Who's getting the plain cocoa, Jim?
Cooper.
I would think that too, but I listen to what Barb and Janie are saying outside, and Barb sits a cup down and says, if you want, I can share my marshmallows off of my cup. Like,
the child doesn't want the marshmallows?
Or no, the child, or maybe the child, because like apparently the child did, and she's off. But like, why not just be like, well, yeah, take your or mine or dad. Or
here's a third one with marshmallows. Did they run out of marshmallows?
Dude, I don't know. Is it trying to tell me something sinister about Barb? So. Is she's trying to screw the kid out of their marshmallows?
Yeah.
Because I thought the same thing. Oh, Coop is the one without marshmallow. He doesn't want it. Mm-hmm. Doesn't want it on his upper lip and doesn't do, but like.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, that's weird. It's weird, man.
But then later at night, he's sitting there stroking Roosevelt and watching that promo thing he did about Vault 4 and the scientist, and that they're the real heroes, and really, really sticks in his craw. And I love the thing he says before he gets it. No dogs in the vault, huh? Like that's, you know, he's got to side with his dog over his wife, I guess.
And this ad that he's watching for Vault Tech also connects it to Vault 4 with the research scientists being entirely the leaders of that vault. It's
a nice way to connect that for people who didn't get it, you know, like it's, yeah. Oh, right. It's those people, those kookies. I also thought Cooper's really going to get a lot of hate because a dog meat's super cute and he's putting his head in his lap and he's wanting to be pet so bad. And Cooper's like, oh, sorry, dog meat, but you ain't him. They're comparing him to Roosevelt. And I'm like, are you not going to pet this fucking dog? And then right before the scene transition, he reluctantly pets him a couple times. So crisis averted. Mm-hmm.
But he'll never be Roosevelt.
Never be Roosevelt. I feel like that's true, maybe though. Dog Meat's. Yeah, this is Dog Meat's arc. He's going to be Roosevelt.
He's probably going to save the ghoul a time or two.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I think I think that's exactly where they're going, down that road. Meanwhile, we rejoin Thaddeus sitting outside the KPSS broadcast station where fiddle aficionado Carl keeps him company. Lucy and Maximus stop by, spooking him into running, which triggers a booby trap that should have killed him. Maximus observes that he might be a ghoul now. Thad is afraid that the Brotherhood will now see him as an enemy, and as they come in on their choppers, Maximus offers to take the head and cover for him. Then he switches the real head with one of Carl's dead music critics. Then he gives Lucy the real head with a real kiss. They promise to find each other when all this is over, as the Brotherhood makes its landing.
There's so many things in this scene that are just hilarious. I mean, Fred Armisen is a treat. Seeing him essentially being a post-apocalyptic Portland hipster, talking about his vinyl collection and the fiddling and
the bass,
you know, shouting out critics that he's
the mids.
Yeah, caught in massive bear traps and shit. It's very funny. The funniest thing to me, and the signature of this show, in my mind, is the last bit of this where Lucy and Max are kissing and they both got the respective heads and they pan down to the heads and they are also kissing. It's just so hilariously morbid that that's like the show in a nutshell right there.
Yeah. I remember you saying that, like, when the head first came up, you're like, God, this head goes places and I really like it. And I'm like, yeah, this is the climax of it. Because the other thing is, like, he busts up the face so they can't tell it. So it's like the two corpses are kissing, but one of them is just kissing a giant fleshy hole where there should be a face. So it even increases the amount of disgust. And I know thematically it's also interesting because this head quest brought them together. You know,
good call.
Little symbolism there, little aftershadowing.
I think when I said this head thing goes places, what I meant was not necessarily this kiss thing, although that's like the perfect cherry on top, but the necrosis that sets in over the course of 7 episodes. Like, they sweated those details, man. They took it from fresh severed head to decayed corpse head. in 7 episodes, gradually too. They really put some love into that.
And it's been funny because I don't know if we mentioned this, but like when Thaddeus and Maximus were celebrating getting the head, they filmed the head as if it was a third character. Like it's like Wilson, the volleyball, kind of sitting there with like a pleasant smile, and it's like he's enjoying being with the camaraderie. Like, yeah, the head's been a nice delight.
Oh, yeah. And Thaddeus is funny too, you know, when he gets the arrow through the neck. Finds out he's a ghoul. He's like, oh no, oh,
and the whistling noise he makes, the slight whistle he makes when he's trying to breathe through the arrow, I think is really funny. Him trying to like placate Fred Armistead, who's clearly a nice guy but is insane about fiddling, and he's just like, hey, babe, I'll go with whatever you say. And I wonder if this is a Fallout joke. The fact that, because we've seen that Thaddeus was a pretty good shot when he was covering Maximus from the Gulper, but he just empties this revolver into their general direction and totally Pulp Fictions it, you know, just doesn't hit a single thing. And he's like, I suck without a scope. And I wonder if that's like, does like scopes give you a 50% increased chance to hit or something in Fallout?
Yeah. That makes sense.
But yeah, and he gets booby trapped trying to run from her and Maximus, and I think we've pretty much covered this whole thing, right? I guess there's a little interesting here is that this is Lucy's first clue that maybe the Brotherhood aren't good guys. And I love Thaddeus is like, it's a complicated organization, you know?
Oh yeah.
And Thaddeus just instantly has a change. I mean, this tells me that the Brotherhood are super fucking intolerant of the mutants. That like he went from hating Maximus and think he's a scumbag to like, oh, you're not that bad. Thanks for doing this thing for me.
Yeah.
Why is he worried about them finding out he's a ghoul? Because he doesn't look like a ghoul. Oh, I guess it's like if he is a ghoul, it's inevitable, and you're not going to get off the Brotherhood base. So
yeah, and they probably don't have a supply of gas to keep
medicine.
You looking the way you need to look.
Also, I love the extra detail. The chicken fucker has a pungent odor. I never should have trusted I never should have trusted a doctor that smells like that. Although he doesn't say it smells bad, he just says smells like that. Maybe he smells like Drakkar Noir. So it's, you know, he's it's the only thing you can find in the post-apocalyptic Walgreens is the giant budget fragrances.
God, can you even find Drakkar Noir in stores
I don't
now?
know. That was like a popular like Axe Young Men flavor back when I was a teenager. So
right.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Did we miss anything else? The kiss. The other thing is, like, I got the idea that Maximus doesn't believe what he's saying here when he says, you know, go, I'll find you. And he's got this big, and he kisses, got this big smile. But the way it fades as she gets away and the Brotherhood land make me think that he thinks this is, how's he going to get off the base? You know, how's he going to pull this off?
Yeah.
He certainly isn't going to be able to, hey, we need to get a couple squads of Brotherhood of Steel Suits to go help her father. So,
nah, he knew he could never do that.
I did like Carl, the romantic, seeing them kiss, even after all of this bloodshed that's happened, and he's moved by it. He's like, aw. I mentioned that this is a race station KPSS, and I thought it's like that just might just be a piss joke because, again, Red Rocket, this show's not above it. Also, I found out that it is the acronym for the Soviet Communist Party of Soviet Russia. It was the Kommunistskaya Partia Sovietskogo Suza, KPSS. Wow. So might be Carl's, and his name's Carl, last name Marx. Fucking commie fiddle sympathizer. Wait until the ghoul finds out.
I'm not saying we've resorted to eating human flesh, but if you support the podcast at support.baldmove.com, we'll never have to. We're back with more Tales from the Wasteland with the Fallout Boys.
Vault 33 says goodbye to their former friends and now neighbors in Vault 32. But Norm takes the chance to sneak out during the move-out ceremony, hacking into Betty's terminal, and requests a meeting with Vault 33. This leads him to gaining access, an entry into the secretive vault, where he discovers... what exactly?
Something moving? That's all I can really glean from that.
It looks like an overturned mop bucket, like those, janitors, like a mop bucket on wheel, and there's a mop, and the mop is slowly moving back and forth to some kind of electronic noise. Otherwise, it looks kind of deserted. Maybe that one hallway where the mop is coming from might be barricaded with supplies or something, but it's dark and spooky.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like the other vaults. That's what I'll say. I do know where this is headed because I've seen the episode after it, but there's nothing that would really hint as to what the hell is going on in this vault other than just say it's weird, it's different.
Yeah. It's got a mystery that's going to endure for at least another episode. I did think it was interesting that, like, okay, he hacks into Betty's terminal and impersonates her, and a Vault 31 overseer who seems very informal, how you doing? And, it says that he doesn't answer his questions directly. Are you compromised? Things aren't going as planned. Like, all these red flags. And he goes just his own Norm self to the door and says hello and gains entry. Tells me that the overseer of Vault 31 doesn't have eyes and ears on this situation, really? Or maybe he's just not expecting someone to impersonate Betty at this point. Because it seems very foolish to have Norm show up and be like, hello? That doesn't sound like Betty, and then you open the door.
Yeah, it's my read on this that they can't hear him say hello. This is just, it's taking a little bit longer than Norm expected, so he's saying hello. He's like, okay, is this going to happen?
But something's prompting them to open the door, right? Like, they're not timing how long it would take Betty to, it's like something is, and he didn't push a button. So I just think that was another maybe mystery for next episode, or maybe I'm reaching.
Yeah, I mean, you would think they would have cameras or something, but I don't know. They want to stay pretty cut off from the other vaults, so maybe they wouldn't have cameras out there.
That's the other thing. I'm trying to understand the explanation to sever Vault 32 from Vault 33 rather than just leave it open and, like, you can freely visit and share. Like,
I mean, the excuse they give is that, like, it prevents accidents from spreading to other vaults, right? Like crop blights or outbreaks of a disease or something like that,
But they do visit from time to time. Maybe they have like an elaborate quarantine process or something. Yeah, you might be right about that. But what did you make of Woody trying to revolt at the end? Does that tell us something? Or is it telling us that he is just that compliant that he thinks this is a bad idea, doesn't want to do it, and he gets confronted with two goons and completely changes his mind? Or is it just a funny scene?
It's a good question. The way I'm reading that is that he is the, coward that Norm is talking about. He's like he exemplifies the coward even more than Chet, in that he's just not up for the challenge of creating an entirely new vault from scratch, essentially. That's what I read into it, but you might be right. There could be something, maybe he knows more than we actually know or think that we know he knows.
All right, that is the episode. If you would like to send us feedback, it's real easy. Go to fallout@baldmove.com. Send us an email there. You can also discuss this with our fantastic community. There's tons of Fallout threads, spoiler-only threads, spoiler-free threads, general discussion threads on our Discord at discord.baldmove.com. And if you'd like to support us and get access to some member-only areas of that Discord, get access to ad-free feeds, if you want to get that kind of great content, support me and Jim doing podcasts and avoid ads, support.baldmove.com. Jim, do we got any? Well, first of all, I guess the thought, we've been tiptoeing around this all episode, but the fact that that Lucy says, if my dad found out that I'd let a whole community die just for my own selfish ends, he would be heartbroken. Well, we know for a fact that he did wipe out a whole community for his own selfish purposes. Yeah. And you got to think that that's going to break Lucy's heart. They're just telling us.
Yeah. I mean, by the end, it does. If you look at the season 2 trailer, she's searching for him, I think maybe for different reasons now. Bring him to justice as opposed to find him and rescue him.
Yeah, because we are. So. This is also we are in the spoilers now. This you should have shut off at the feedback section, but
oops.
Yeah, and then we already talked about the gulpers last week, but there's a little gulper tease of the gulper babies, but we got the full grown gulper gulping. I didn't really clock anything else to talk
because we're one episode from the end.
I know.
So we've talked about a lot of it already, and there's not much left to be revealed here.
All right, again. We are pretty far into the season. Not a lot of things to make connections to, because next episode's where it all comes together. So let's just get the feedback. Jim, did we get any? Did anyone send any suggestions to the K-Piss playlist this week at fallout@baldmove.com?
Sure.
It's going to be 100% fiddling no matter what, but might as well consider them.
Yeah, but I think the fourth caller wins. I don't know, a copy of Tennessee Ford's
a free rusty horse
tons.
Trap.
Yeah, trip to the bear trap. And we're gonna start off with Cody.
Oh yeah,
who says, in the pod for the season 2 trailer, you guys pondered if Overseer Betty could actually be Cooper / the Ghoul's daughter. However, we know that Overseer Betty is actually Betty. In episode 8, the beginning, Cooper is led into his wife's office by a secretary he refers to as Betty. While not 100% confirmed, it seems almost certain that this is indeed young Overseer Betty.
No, this is 100% right, and it annoys me because I just rewatched the whole series. But it's one of those things where it's like, blink and you miss it. Like, they don't make a big deal out of it, but... No, you're right. And she even kind of bears a much more obvious similarity in terms of kind of hair and personality than Barb. I mean, Janie's a blank slate if you want to say, oh, she's Janie. But yeah, that's not a mystery. Yeah. It's just something that's kind of soft launched in that scene where it's like when Cooper is finding out about the depths of his wife's treachery to the human race, and his hearing is going off like a bomb, and Hank is trying to get an autograph, and there's a lot of going on in that scene, is what I'm saying. But yeah, you're 100% right.
Mm-hmm. And then we have Brent writing in to say, loving the coverage. I love that you're still unsullied by the gaming experience, which gives you a fun perspective on the insanity that is the Fallout universe. As pertaining to your episode 6 coverage for The Trap, I see Jim wondering, why that robot? Fair question. And I think he's talking about the Snip Snip, about the Mr. Handy robot. Fair question, though, as a Fallout vet for 20 years, no one, as far as I know, has made a sexual encounter with the Mr. Handy variety of robot. However, there is another Fallout robot called a Protecteon, which fills quite a few uses in the universe. One of which is, in Fallout New Vegas, you're tasked by a brothel owner with acquisition of a sex bot codenamed Fisto.
No.
Oh boy. Yeah, I know. I'm still reading from the email. Yeah, I know. I'll happily attach the finding of said robot below. Thanks again for all your coverage. Been listening since Breaking Good, and you guys never disappoint. And he did send in a link to a video. Which, do I dare click? Do I dare click it? Mr. Handy, the Fisto, I'm not sure.
If you click on it and your Windows is taken over by the Fisto operating system, I can't be held responsible.
I'll maybe leave it alone.
It's going to Fisto your system install.
But it's good to know that Fallout has thought of that contingency, the sex bots. That's it for the feedback.
It's like, I'm telling you, like, there's already robots that walk among us that have been fucked. No way nobody has gotten one of those Honda all white jobs into, or that what did you see that one that was like that the robot was walking around with like a badonk, like they're walking but not like it's not like a demonstration of like, oh, look at this Boston Dynamics thing walking through this boulder stroofy. It's like it's a faceless robot that's unmistakably cast in a feminine way, and it walks like Jessica Rabbit. With like, you know, the legs crossing in front, the feet crossing in front of each other, the hips going ka-dunk,
what the hell?
I guarantee there's at least 3 multimillionaires in Southeast Asia that's fucked that robot. Guaranteed. Maybe a billionaire or two from North America.
I got a question for you. Of all the robots we've come up with currently today, least fuckable robot.
The one that welds the tailgates onto the F-150 truck.
Oh, you're thinking just like factory arms. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, okay,
yeah, you're like, right.
You know, because obviously Roomba's out. Roomba, that thing, come on.
Man, are you kidding me?
Its primary function is to suck. It's obviously super fuckable robot. At what is it? Honda's Asimov. A little angular. Untextured.
I think it's anything coming out of Boston Dynamics. They're making nightmare creatures, man. Those like cheetah looking things with the paddles for legs.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Has anyone even asked if the bilateral symmetric bipedal form is the best for fucking? I mean, maybe the right kind. Maybe it's 6 legs and 4 arms. How many heads are we talking about? You know, like, why be limited to what evolution has fumbled with in a billion years of shuffling hydrogen atoms around? No. We're
you know, there's probably a vault for that. I bet that's one of the experiments. Yeah.
Yeah, the other scientist vault was all about finding the optimum hedonist form. That's a feedback section.
Sure is.
Once again, if you'd like to send us feedback, fallout@baldmove.com is how you get that done. If you'd like to support what we're doing here at Bald Move and get some nice stuff for yourself, the way to support us is imaginatively titled support.baldmove.com. Go in there and check out all the ways you can do it. As far as Jim and I, we are going to go away. We're gonna kiss passionately, smash our corpse heads together, and walk hand in hand off into the sunset until the next episode. Until then, I'm your host, A.Ron.
And I'm Jim.
Mwah!
Smooch.
We're going down to